I'm with Richard Fry, Managing Director of MicroID. Well, Richard, hi, thank you for joining us. Can you start by telling us what does MicroID do?
MicroID is a company that supplies radio frequency identification, i.e. microchips for pets primarily. It also supplies a whole range of microchip scanners, and the main push for our company is the different types of chips that we supply. One of the things we do is supply a mini chip, which has been fairly new in the market and is now available for vets in particular to microchip very small animals. DEFRA, the organisation that looks after the endangered species, have accepted our mini microchip to be the only chip that can be used for tiny tortoises, endangered species tortoises, down to 6 centimetres, which is tiny, very small. And one of the things that we're also proud of is that we've been in the business now I personally have been in the business for 22 years. And the very first systems came into this country 22 years ago. And from that point of view, we have a lot of experience, and we do a lot of work in trying to improve the technology and make it easy for the vets to use.
So what makes MicroID different to all the other microchip companies?
Well, we are just a microchip company. Many of the companies that are in the business are just distributors of products that are non-microchip, so there'll be drug distribution companies, etc., or even insurance companies. So we are purely a microchip supplier. We link to one of the biggest database for pet registration called PetLog. And because we have 4 different types of microchips in different formats, in syringe and in a needle and gun and different sizes, that gives us the ability to be able to give the vet, for instance, the right product for him to use. In addition, we have the biggest range of microchip scanners. We have 8 different scanners ranging from a tiny pocket scanner, mini scanner, up to a big scanner that you can a racehorse can walk past, for instance, and be scanned before it goes into the actual gate for racing. So our flexibility is in what we can provide in terms of the technology and what the vet needs.
So which database do you use for your registration?
Well, as I said, the biggest database in this country is PetLog. PetLog is run by the Kennel Club, and the data that holds is now somewhere in the region of 80% of all microchipped animals in the country are on that particular database. There's 24/7 accessibility, and it's just the best one in the business. So we're linked to that one, and we'll continue to be that way.
And what kind of microchip scanners do you provide?
Well, we have scanners that will just display a number. We have scanners that will have communications using Bluetooth or cable communication, so that if, for instance, we supply a microchip for Grave, some of the things we do are outside the animal business, but we supply microchips for graves, we supply microchips for asset identification, bicycles, machinery, golf clubs, fishing rods, etc., etc. The information about the item can be scanned in, sent via Bluetooth communications or GPS, and back comes the information about what the item's in. For instance, a racehorse, going back to racehorses, you could have a scanner that's reading the racehorse, and it will go, whilst it's walking 10 metres, back will come, it will send a data communication back to via GPS to the database, and back will come information about vaccinations, whether its certificates are up to date, etc., to enable the authorities that are involved in the racing or in the eventing to be able to make sure that animal is okay to participate.
So does MicroID provide just to the UK?
No, because we are an international company, over 50% of our business is in the international arena. For example, we have distributors in various countries that buy our products to be able to distribute through their own veterinary network. In addition, we're working with authorities in other countries where we're actually helping them to set up databases for managing their own animals. For example, we are setting up a database providing all the systems for tracking and managing camels in the desert, where they want to be able to make sure that those camels, when they get close to the border, are brought back into their own country and where they should be belonging to. So we fit chips which then are registered onto the central database, and again we will then use tracking systems and satellite communications and GPS systems to get data about that animal back to the central database. One of the big things that's happening in the world is management and control of disease, management of farm animals, management of all types of animals, and trying to get disease under control. So the RFID systems that we operate are perfect to help governments in different parts of the world to do this, and we're quite pleased to say that we are building that business, part of the business, very quickly.
And tell me, do you have any promotions running at the moment?
Yeah, we've just launched Who Gives a Chip. Now, Who Gives a Chip, you might wonder, what's Who Gives a Chip? We have just launched through the vets and through people who buy our microchips, that if whatever they order and they nominate their pet charity of their choice, we will donate 10% of the value of chips that they have just purchased to that charity. It's a really good idea to get, because charities are having a real tough time at the moment, just raising funds to keep going. So if we can provide free microchips and registrations to the charities through this scheme, it'll be really good. And that, that's the thing we're trying to achieve.
Okay, well, thank you, Richard. And for more information about the company and their products, please visit their website micro-id.co.uk.